Good afternoon and welcome to another edition of From the Mayor's Desk. I'm Mayor Stephen DonCarlos for the City of Baytown, and I've got a little list of activities and items that I thought you might find interesting here in this late hot July day. First off, you may have been reading and noticing that we've had an outbreak of graffiti in various areas of the city. I'm proud to report that Police Chief Doherty announced to City Council last week that the young people that were involved in the latest outburst of graffiti have now been identified, and police are out searching for them as we speak. We have information that one of them has left the area, but the other two still are around, and the police chief has advised that they're issuing warrants for their arrest. So hopefully we'll get those young people off the streets and hopefully into something more constructive than messing up other people's property. We have a group of citizens that's been at work now in Baytown for at least 6 months working on a unified land development code for our city. What this is, it's a process whereby through the use of zoning laws and other land use planning tools, we can make our city more attractive to developers and to new businesses. We are in the middle of a process that will hopefully result in a new, simple-to-use code for anyone wanting to build a business, a new commercial building, or any other type of development in our city. The issues that have arisen thus far have concerned older buildings and existing businesses that are in the city. And our city staff is working with the ULDC committee to come up with a plan whereby newer areas of the city would be regulated somewhat differently from older areas of the city. What we would like to ultimately happen is for older and existing businesses to gradually bring their buildings up to new codes with newer and better appearances, paint jobs, some landscaping and such as that. But we want to be very, very careful that we don't do anything that would harm the existing businesses that have lent so much to our community. So watch for those developments in the near future. We should be having toward the end of the year some progress and significant news to share about the new Unified Land Development Code. Council's also been recently working on new windstorm requirements for new structures in our city. As those of us who have survived Hurricane Ike can testify to, hurricane force winds can do terrible things to roofs. We lost, as you recall, over 900 apartment units in our city alone, along with numerous other structures, damage to commercial and residential buildings, and the like. We have determined at the city that we likely need to take a new look at how our new houses are built and increase our requirements for making those houses sturdier and more resistant to hurricane force winds. The current proposal before the city would call for a house to be able to withstand hurricane force winds up to 130 miles an hour. Now we're having some serious discussions with major home builders in the area who want us to back off on such strict standards. However, we think it's very important for anyone that's coming into the city of Baytown to build a lot of homes, to build them sturdy and to build them where they will withstand significant hurricane force winds. Some of you old timers may recall in Hurricane Alicia we had 125 mile an hour wind gusts. So 130 mile an hour wind resistance is not too much to ask, we think. We are working with those home builders to come up with a plan that will give them some comfort that they won't have to raise their home prices very much. But we think it's a good investment in the future of our community. When the home builders are gone, we're going to be left to clean up any mess that's resulting from shoddy workmanship after a storm. So we want to make sure that the houses that are built, that you are living in, are safe when the next storm comes through. You've also heard a lot lately about red light cameras in our city, and there's been a lot of information that has been going around about supposedly the city made changes to red light intervals to raise money for the city, to make it trickier for folks to go through intersections and to try to somehow trick more folks into getting red light violations. Let me give you some facts about what's been going on with our red light cameras. The cameras along Garth Road, for instance, were set through their intervals through our company that does traffic synchronization. As many of you know, we have long tried to get traffic signals along Garth Road synchronized, and one way that they do that is through timing of the red light, yellow light, green light intervals on side streets and on the major thoroughfares to try to pulse traffic through those intersections. We have asked, in light of recent controversy over the length of the yellow lights at those intersections, that our traffic synchronization folks take a look at trying to stretch out the yellow lights as far as we safely can, so people will have adequate time if they're going the normal posted speeds to stop at those intersections. As to the effect of the red light cameras, we now have about a year's worth of data that we can tell you about on how they're working. Folks, the idea behind the red light cameras is not to give tickets, it's not to collect money for the city, it's to keep people safe. If you've been in this city any length of time, I'm sure you have noticed that we have a lot of folks that simply have trouble stopping at red lights. It's a dangerous situation, and this is the way that we as a city chose to address it. Since we have put the red light cameras in over the last year, accidents have been down 27% in general at those intersections where red light cameras are. Injury accidents, major accidents, are down 42%. Accidents caused by people running red lights are down 21%. And rear-end collisions, which many people were worried about going up because of people slamming on their brakes to stop these red lights, following too close accidents are down 42%. Across the board, at the intersections where we have put red light cameras, we can safely say that they are working. We are having fewer accidents, we're having fewer injuries at those intersections, and that's exactly how we wanted this system to work. Now, what you may not know is that the money that is generated by those red light cameras goes first, 55% goes to the company that installed the cameras at no cost to the city. The remaining amount is split equally between the city and the state. The amount that the city gets, we have to take out all costs associated with the red light camera operations, and that amount that is left to the city can only be spent on public safety issues and traffic control. It might interest you to know that the first amounts of money, the first expenditures from the red light camera funds are going to go to installing 2 more traffic lights on Highway 146 in Chambers County. There's a serious traffic problem out there where folks from the subdivisions in Chambers County are having difficulty to get on 146 safely. There's only one red light out there now, which is, of course, the entrance to Pinehurst subdivision. This money will be used to pay the city's share of red lights at an intersection outside Country Meadows subdivision and an intersection up by 1405. Hopefully this will allow traffic to spread out a little bit and to make that stretch of road safer for all of our residents that live out in Chambers County. Those lights are under design now and should go in hopefully within the next 6 to 8 months. Thanks for tuning in to another segment of From the Mayor's Desk.